The writers' strike, now, of course, the actors are also on strike, which is what really has shut down the entertainment industry. But before the actors went on strike, the writers went on strike. And they've been on strike for well over 100 days now. And the biggest frustrating thing as a fan about the writers' strike has been the fact that the writers and the AMPTP, that's the organization that represents the studios and big producers and stuff like that, they haven't been talking to each other. Like, they have not been talking to each other. Over 3 months, over 100 days, and these two sides have not been talking to each other. Well, this past Friday, just a few days ago, the AMPTP and the WGA finally sat down to have their first meeting in months. And according to reports, some progress actually got made. Now, headlines like this are suggesting that the AMPTP finally came back with a counter proposal of their own, because that is something that the WGA had been waiting for. See, the WGA had submitted a proposal back right at the beginning of the strike, and the studios never even countered. They just said, no, go ahead and strike.
No.
Which I have never understood. Look, I get it if you look, we think what you're proposing is crazy. You're nuts if you think we're going to agree to this. Here's what we propose. At least do that. But nope, the producers just basically said, we are so far apart, we're not even going to bother addressing what you've asked for. And it's been that way at that stalemate for months. But now, maybe a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, as they've actually gotten together, and the AMPTP has finally submitted a counter proposal. Now, none of this part is not verified, but the whispers are that in this counter proposal, there was actually a little bit of movement from the AMPTP, like the AMPTP was willing to give a little bit of ground. Because amongst the whole list of all the things that the WGA has been asking for, one of the things on that was about protections from AI, that AI should never get any writing credit, that anything gets written always goes to a human writer, the credit and thus payment and all that kind of stuff. And according to the whispers, it sounded like the AMPTP was actually giving on that. Now, again, no official representative from the AMPTP has confirmed that. No official representative from the WGA has confirmed that, but that is the whisper. And look, that's not enough to get a deal done. That's not going to end the strike this week. But it's at least the first sign of the two sides having a dialogue, number one, and a little bit of movement, number two. Now, let's be clear. Even if the two sides come to an agreement on the AI issue, there's still going to be a number of issues that have to get reconciled before any strike. We can talk about the potential ending of a strike, but nothing can happen if the two sides aren't at least in the same room and talking, and that is now happening. And according to a report in Deadline, they're now saying the WGA is working on another counter proposal to what the AMPTP sent them. And again, they're probably still going to be far apart, but as through this process of proposal, counter proposal, proposal, counter proposal, hopefully eventually they get back into a spot where they can both sacrifice something, both give up. You know, my real estate agent said to me, you've always heard the adage that, you know, it's a good deal when everybody walks away happy. I remember my real estate agent when Ann and I were looking to buy our first house and we started the negotiations with things. My real estate agent said, no, that's not. He goes, you know, you've got a good deal when everybody's a little bit unhappy. When everybody's a little unhappy, that means you actually reached a good, fair deal. And I think if the two sides can get to the point where they're both a little bit unhappy, then finally we'll get a deal. We'll have to wait and see. And hopefully if the writers get their deal done, hopefully that will lead to the actors then getting some stuff done, because man, this strike has gone on long enough. This stuff needs to get resolved. We need to get Deadpool 3 back into production, damn it. Mm-hmm. And we'll see how that goes. Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. Make sure you like and subscribe, but also we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and find it, the John Campea Show Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your preferred podcasting app.